The galactic assembly chamber stretched vast and cold beneath the shimmering dome of stars. Hundreds of alien delegates sat in polished seats, their eyes flickering with bored disinterest as the giant hologram of a tiny blue planet rotated silently. In the center, Earth, an elder Vetheri counselor muttered, voice thick with disdain. A myth from the ancient archives. A world long dead, its people wiped out eons ago. No threat, no value. Around him, others nodded, some chuckled quietly. The young Zephyr delegate scoffed, leaning forward. Why waste resources on the stories of a forgotten species? Their technology is primitive relics, their wars a cautionary tale, not a current danger. The hologram flickered, briefly showing ruined cities half swallowed by forests. Rusted weapons buried beneath layers of time. A faint, almost ghostly pulse flickered beneath the surface, ignored by all dot. But in the back row, a solitary figure. The scout Xiren sat rigid, his sharp eyes, haunted and wide, fixed on the ghostly image of Earth. He had seen things others refused to believe. The data he brought back was dismissed as paranoia, fairy tales woven from fear, as the assembly prepared to adjourn. Xiren stood abruptly. "You are wrong," he said, voice low, but cutting through the murmurs like a blade. "Earth is not dead. The nightmare sleeps no longer." Silence slammed down. Delegates turned, eyebrows raised. The council elder's eyes narrowed. "You bring madness, Scout. Explain yourself." Xiren's throat tightened. He summoned the courage to speak. "My ship was attacked near the outer rim. I crash-landed on Earth's surface. I survived in the shadows. What I found was not ruins, but preparations systems alive beneath the soil. Defenses unlike anything catalogued." He paused as the holoshield flickered behind him, showing a brief pulse of glowing blue circuitry snaking beneath a shattered cityscape. "They wait," Xiren whispered, "waiting for the galaxy to forget, so they can rise again." Murmurs erupted. The elder banged his staff. "Enough. These are tales for frightened children. You've seen nothing but echoes and ghosts. The assembly rejects your claims." Xiren's jaw clenched, but he bowed his head. "If you choose to ignore the warning, so be it. But the nightmare will awaken, and then your disbelief will be your doom." As he turned to leave, the chamber's lights dimmed for a moment, the stars outside the dome flickering like dying embers. Outside, unseen eyes watched and waited in the black void between stars. Far from the glittering assembly, an ancient signal pulsed steadily from Earth's depths. The blue planet held secrets older than any delegate's memory. Secrets born in fire and survival, and somewhere beneath the shattered cities and tangled forests, a silent war machine stirred. Humanity was no myth. The nightmare was waking. The wreckage of Xiren's scout ship smoldered in the cold shadow of Earth's twisted mountains, its hull torn apart by unseen forces. The ship lay half buried in cracked stone and tangled roots, a silent monument to a mission gone wrong. Inside the shattered cockpit, Xiren gasped for breath, eyes wide and unblinking, haunted by what he had seen. The star maps on his cracked holoscreen flickered erratically. Unable to process the strange signals flooding his system, his fingers trembled as he activated his distress beacon, but the signal wasn't going out to the galactic assembly. Instead, it pulsed inward, locked deep into Earth's orbit, swallowed by a network of defenses unlike anything the galaxy had ever known. Why won't it send?" Xiren whispered to himself, voice ragged. The cockpit's dim red light cast twisted shadows on his sweat-streaked face. Memories crashed through his mind like shards of glass. The moment his ship crossed the atmosphere, the sky had erupted in firestorms, not from Earth's defenses, but from something far older, far deadlier. He'd witnessed shadowy figures moving beneath the forest canopy. Not aliens, not animals, but something else. Humanoid, but brutal and fierce. Faces painted with strange markings, eyes glowing faintly in the twilight. They vanished before he could focus, leaving only whispers in the wind. Then came the pulse. A silent, rhythmic tremor beneath the ground, like the heartbeat of a slumbering giant. Zyron's sensors scrambled to understand, but his system warned of interference, bioorganic, synthetic, and utterly alien to his scans. Desperation seized him. He'd sent his report months ago, but the assembly buried it, afraid to face the truth. Earth was alive, and it was waiting. Suddenly, a sharp crack echoed from the hull. Zyron jolted upright. A cold wind blew through the broken windows, carrying a faint metallic scent mixed with ozone. Something was approaching. He fumbled for his weapon, hands shaking as a shadow flickered at the edge of the wreck. A low growl rumbled in the darkness, primal and raw. Not just stories. Zyron breathed, swallowing the lump in his throat. Not myths. The cockpit door creaked open, revealing a figure cloaked in tattered armor, human armor, but ancient and worn, covered in symbols older than any star chart. The figure's eyes burned with a fierce intelligence, scanning Zyron like prey, assessing a threat. "You should not have come here," the stranger said quietly, voice low and gravelly. "The galaxy forgets, but we remember, and we do not forgive." Zyron swallowed hard. His nightmare was no longer just a vision. It was a living, breathing reality, a silent war on the brink of awakening, and Earth's nightmare was ready to rise. The void above Earth was no longer silent. A fleet of alien warships, sleek and menacing, sliced through the atmosphere like predators descending on helpless prey. Their engines roared with the confidence of conquest, weapon systems locked and primed to crush what they believed was a forgotten backwater world. Target acquired. The flagship's commander announced, voice cold and assured, "We will end this quickly." No time wasted on myths and ghosts. But as the first salvo of energy blasts tore through the upper atmosphere, the sky itself seemed to fight back. A brilliant pulse of blue light erupted from Earth's surface, not from towering turrets or ships, but from a network of ancient, hidden defense arrays. They awakened like slumbering giants, firing streams of energy that danced through the alien fleet with uncanny precision. Explosions blossomed across the ranks of invaders, metal twisting and cracking under the relentless onslaught. Ships spiraled out of control, their hulls rupturing in fiery blossoms that cast flickering shadows on the clouds below. "Impossible," the commander hissed, eyes wide with disbelief. "How are they hitting us with such accuracy?" Below, human pilots soared through the smoky skies, weaving through laser fire on sleek, battle-worn fighters. Their armor gleamed with tribal patterns intertwined with advanced tech, a fusion of past and future. Lieutenant Marowyn gritted her teeth as she guided her craft through a hailstorm of enemy fire. "They think Earth is a story," she muttered. Into her comes, voice steady, "Despite the chaos, we're about to become their worst nightmare." In the distance, towering megacities burned, their ruins silhouetted against the fiery horizon. Yet, amidst the destruction, humans fought with a relentless ferocity, their eyes burning with the fierce pride of a species that refused to be erased. Suddenly, a massive warship lurched, crippled by a blast from one of Earth's underground cannons. The alien crew scrambled in panic, alarms blaring as the vessel plummeted toward the planet's surface. In the war rooms of the invader's flagship, commanders shouted orders, their confidence shattered. Deploy countermeasures. Seal off their strike points. But every plan was met with failure. Earth's defenses adapted faster than algorithms could predict. The invaders' rigid strategies crumbled beneath the unpredictable, savage tactics of humanity. As the battle raged, strange figures emerged from the forests and ruins, human warriors clad in archaic armor, wielding weapons crafted from steel and bone, moving silently and striking with deadly precision. They were ghosts from a forgotten past, the nightmare that had been whispered about for generations, and now fully awake. The air was thick with smoke and the scent of scorched earth. Beneath a bruised sky streaked with crimson and ash, the battlefield lay in ruin, shattered buildings, twisted metal, and the echoes of desperate screams. But amid the devastation, something stirred. From the shadows of ruined streets and collapsed monuments, humans rose, not like frightened prey, but like something older, darker, and fiercer, warriors forged in the fires of countless battles, their eyes blazing with unyielding rage. Lieutenant Mara Wynne wiped grime from her face, revealing tribal tattoos etched in glowing blue ink that pulsed faintly beneath her skin. Her breath was ragged, her muscles trembling, but her spirit was unbroken. "They thought this would be easy," she growled, gripping the hilt of a jagged blade fashioned from salvaged metal and crystal. "They don't understand what it means to fight for every inch of home." The alien invaders stumbled backward, confusion and fear spreading like wildfire through their ranks. Their sleek armor and advanced weapons faltered in the face of a human onslaught that combined savage hand-to-hand combat with guerrilla precision. A squadron of human fighters disappeared into the ruins, ambushing enemy patrols with silent efficiency. Their movements were fluid, unpredictable, a deadly dance born from instinct and years of survival. One alien soldier screamed as a warrior burst from the shadows, a blade flashing in the dying light. The human's eyes shone with a fierce joy, a brutal clarity. "You woke the nightmare," she whispered. As the battle dragged on, Earth revealed layers of hidden defenses, subterranean bunkers, automated turrets embedded in ancient stone, and biomechanical constructs that hummed with life. The planet itself seemed alive, a living fortress molded by human hands and memories. From the darkness emerged an older warrior, his armor scarred and ancient, eyes cold and steady. "This isn't just a war," he said. "It's revenge. For every world they crushed, every life they destroyed, we carry the fury of all who came before." The aliens recoiled as more humans appeared, not just soldiers, but citizens turned fighters, artists, and farmers wielding whatever they could in defiance. Their faces bore scars and determination. Their hearts beat with one relentless purpose: survival in the heart of the city's rubble. Mara raised her blade to the bloodied sky. "They dismissed us as a story. Now we are their nightmare." The Grand Command Bridge of the alien fleet was a storm of flashing lights and frantic voices. Walls shimmered with holographic battle maps, but none could make sense of the chaos unraveling before them. Admiral Kervax paced like a caged predator, his many eyes darting between collapsing fronts and failing algorithms. "They fight with madness," he growled. "No logic, no pattern. They adapt faster than our strategies can anticipate." Across the room, his lieutenants barked orders to patch communications, redirect reinforcements, and patch up fractured lines. But every plan crumbled like brittle glass under the relentless hammer of human unpredictability. A lieutenant reported, voice shaking, "They're striking from the shadows ambushes, where no enemy should be. Sensors show no origin points." "Ghosts," Kervax whispered, lips curling into a snarl. "Our science cannot comprehend them, and our soldiers fear what they cannot see." In the depths of Earth's ruins, human guerrillas slipped through shattered streets and collapsed tunnels like phantoms. Cloaked in ragged gear, their movements were a blur, attacking with precise brutality before vanishing into the shadows. Mara Wynne led a small unit, their breaths steady, hearts pounding in sync with the rhythm of the war drums long embedded in their souls. "They expect machines," she said quietly. "They don't understand flesh. They don't understand fury." Her team struck again, disabling a crucial supply convoy, then melted away before the aliens could react. Each successful hit twisted the enemy's resolve tighter, spreading fear through their ranks. Back on the command bridge, panic flared. The invaders' tactical AI began to overload, flashing warnings of unpredictable variables and unknown threats. Kervax slammed a fist onto the console. "Adapt, innovate. We cannot afford failure." but human unpredictability was relentless. They employed tactics that defied logic, traps in abandoned cities, coordinated strikes using primitive weapons alongside experimental technology, even psychological warfare that eroded alien morale. In a rare broadcast intercepted by enemy forces, a human voice crackled with fierce determination. "We are not your story. We are the nightmare you forgot." The alien commander's certainty shattered with every loss. Their cold, calculated world was crumbling beneath the raw chaos of human will, and somewhere deep beneath Earth's surface, the planet itself pulsed a silent, living force, feeding on the chaos above, ready to unleash horrors the galaxy had never imagined. The night sky above Earth was a fractured mosaic of stars and fire. Alien fleets still blazed, but something new had shifted beneath the surface of the war, an unseen alliance forming in the darkness, in a hidden cavern deep beneath a ruined city. Voices whispered in hushed tones. The air was thick with tension and the scent of damp earth. "We've been slaves long enough," said a slender figure, her eyes glowing faintly with a violet hue. The invaders' cruelty spared no race, no world, but Earth. Earth stands, defiant. Across the circle sat warriors from many species, scarred rebels, outcasts who'd suffered under the alien oppressor's iron fist. Now, they exchanged glances heavy with unspoken agreement. A grizzled alien, his face a maze of old battle scars, nodded. "The humans are not the isolated threat we believed. They are the spark." Mara Wynn, hardened and battle-weary, stood at the edge of the group. "We fought alone too long. Together, we are the storm they never saw coming." Outside, a cloaked fleet slipped silently through enemy lines, evading sensors and patrols. Ships of varied designs scavenged, rebuilt and repurposed, moved with quiet purpose. The invaders' arrogance had been their greatest mistake. They never expected that those crushed beneath their heels would rise, not just to fight back, but to stand with humanity as equals. In the dense forests at the city's edge, strange fires burned, signals, calls to arms. From shadowed paths, alien rebels emerged, their weapons low but ready. Mara's squad merged with the newcomers, the rhythm of their footsteps a silent promise of vengeance. "We don't just defend Earth," she said grimly. "We reclaim it." Back in the invaders' command, fear rippled through their ranks. Reports of Allied forces sabotaging supply lines, striking at weak points, and rescuing prisoners spread like wildfire. Admiral Kervac slammed his fist down. "They grow stronger, more united. This war will not be over in a single battle." The galaxy watched as unlikely allies forged a bond in fire and shadow, the oppressed rising to challenge, the mighty, the forgotten, becoming the reckoning. The once vibrant city lay in smoldering ruins, the air heavy with ash and silence. Fires flickered weakly against the encroaching night, casting long shadows over shattered buildings and broken dreams. Lieutenant Mara Wynn stood on a crumbled rooftop, eyes scanning the horizon streaked with smoke and distant flashes of laser fire. Her heart pounded not from fear, but from a deep, aching exhaustion. Around her, the faces of survivors bore the raw weight of loss. Friends fallen, homes destroyed, futures shattered. The price of defiance was written in every scar, every whispered name lost to the void. A young recruit knelt nearby, clutching a makeshift weapon, trembling as tears traced streaks through dirt and grime. "Will it ever end?" he whispered. Mara's voice was steady, but heavy. "Not while they believe we are weak. Not while they think we can be broken." Suddenly, a distant rumble shattered the fragile quiet. The ground trembled beneath their feet as an enormous alien war machine, half organic, half metal, rose from the shadows like a monstrous titan awakening. Its glowing eyes scanned the battlefield, its limbs crushing debris with thunderous force. The nightmare had evolved. "Get down," Mara shouted, pushing the recruit behind a collapsed wall. The beast unleashed a deafening roar, firing energy blasts that carved trenches into the earth and sent survivors scattering. The ground cracked, swallowing entire squads into fiery CHAs. In the chaos, Mara's cum crackled with urgent voices, orders, cries, desperate calls for backup that would never come. She gritted her teeth and raised her weapon, determination flaring. This is our home. We fight until our last breath. As the battle spiraled toward devastation, a silent message pulsed through the hidden networks, a call for reinforcements from distant allies. But every second counted. Amid the carnage, Mara caught sight of the ancient warrior from the shadows, his eyes cold steel. "This war takes more than strength," he murmured. "It takes sacrifice." She nodded, feeling the crushing weight of truth settle like stone in her chest. Above, the sky burned with the fury of war, stars swallowed by smoke. The nightmare was no longer just a legend, it was the reckoning. The final dawn broke over a battlefield scarred beyond recognition. The sky, once bright with hope, was now painted in shades of ash and fire. The air trembled with the echoes of distant explosions and the ragged breaths of the last survivors. Lieutenant Mara Wynne stood atop a shattered monument, a symbol of a civilization that refused to die. Her armor was battered, her body weary, but her eyes burned with a fierce, unyielding light. Around her, the remnants of humanity and their allies gathered, ready for one last stand. The alien invaders' fleet hovered ominously overhead, preparing for a final, devastating assault. The ground beneath their feet pulsed with energy, Earth itself awakening to lend its strength to those who had fought for it. The ancient defenses hummed with renewed power, lights flickering to life in hidden bunkers and long-forgotten sanctuaries. Mara's voice carried over the silent crowd, steady and resolute. "They thought we were a story, a forgotten myth, but we are the nightmare that woke them from their arrogance." Suddenly, the sky erupted. Alien warships dove toward the surface, unleashing torrents of fire and destruction. But humanity met them with an unbreakable fury. Fighters soared through the air, weaving deadly patterns of attack and evasion. From the shadows, the ancient warriors emerged, their battle cries rising in a thunderous chorus. Blades clashed with energy weapons, flesh-fought machine, and the clash of wills ignited the battlefield. Amid the chaos, Mara led a daring strike toward the flagship, a blazing beacon of alien command. Every step was a fight for survival, every breath a testament to endurance. Reaching the bridge, Mara confronted Admiral Kervax, his face twisted in rage and disbelief. "You should have listened," she said, voice cold and unwavering. "We are not the story you dismissed." With a final, desperate push, the battle turned. The invaders' forces faltered, their confidence shattered by a species they had long underestimated. As the flagship fell, the skies began to clear, revealing the stars once more silent witnesses to humanity's defiant stand. Mara looked to the horizon, knowing this victory was but the beginning. The galaxy had forgotten Earth, but humanity's legacy was now etched into the stars.